against Team Spanish Drill. It was casted by the one and only Jackknife. I was there to ref it, and it looked fun. I didn't hate it at all. It was very. It seemed like both teams had a fun time.
Well, I was asleep, I'm pretty sure. I was very, very tired. And now I have gotten very little sleep. And looks like Yo Multi is waking up the crowd a little bit with breaking the door immediately. Like, I guess my question to you, Misha, is what do you think about breaking the door immediately as the Demogorgon?
I think he'll only break doors on main building on Coal Tower if you do not have Bamboozle. If you have Bamboozle, I think you keep them intact.
Yeah, well, it looks like they've already hopped on that particular gen. Yo Multi listening in, and just so we're clear that our own balancing that we use here at Definitive Tourneys, the only exhaustions I believe you allowed against Demo are balance, smash hit, and head on, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yep, so this is going to be closer to old school Demo Gorgon. Yeah, that's a dirty hit, probably already around the corner on his poor screen. And I know that you're going to think it's rich coming from me about feeling about someone's feelings. There's a window hit that should have happened here, but that's just me here. But looks like Shiggy's going to be very deliberate with their chase here, taking it to this very dangerous top. It's not even that dangerous if I'm being fair. Head on, head on, head on, head on. No! Shot pallet is gone! It's a misplay! That early!
No. Shiggy really needed to take advantage of the I-tile. This I-tile, it's back to its former glory. It is long and safe and really nice to play around, even on ping. So I think just pre-dropping that I-tile and maybe rotating somewhere else would have been the move. But I don't know. I think something happened. I think maybe there was a lapse in judgment by Shiggy. But we already see an ace player here stealthing for the save, and the save will come in immediately. I don't think we allow for the people though, so they will have to reset basically normally, and they need to be really precise about where exactly they reset, because there's no more shack pallets, there is just shack window but no light is allowed, and the killer knows exactly where Shiggy is, so this will be a hit tank here from the ace player. Jukies, how do you feel about hit tanks this early into the match?
I don't like it, but I think that one thing is that when someone does a hit tank, what that tells me, at least from my perspective, is that they're either A, confident in their survivor chase, or they are confident that the killer that they've already gone against once now is not going to be able to keep up their end of the bargain here as we get it down here. And that's still 2 hooks right now. So you see maybe a little teabag here by the ace.
This could have been so insane if it was a bit more well positioned. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now that they have played around expecting to be able to get time and distance, which is great because they were able to get that gen done. They're able to pressure a separate gen, but the issue with that hit tank is that it makes it so that he needed to stay at bottom side. Even if there's nothing there, it needed to be like they needed to die at the bottom like 7 or 5 tile.
I disagree with that. I think what happened is they just did not really have enough pressure on 11, but I definitely do see the vision here dying somewhere closer to mid-map, maybe to the top side of the map, because there's still a lot of generators on the bottom, but they did pop something on the top side, I think. Yeah, they popped this generator mid-map. So I think this is the best death spot they could have hoped for. It's just that the killer is now punishing their bad gen efficiency by basically camping out Shiggy. Unless there is a 2-man save that can happen, but then again they are trading so many hot states in a reset that does not allow really any reset. So Shiggy will need to have an insane chase here, and I don't think it's possible against a killer with Bamboozle on the main building, where some of the doors are broken. Wait, actually, Yomoti never broke the doors on the bottom. It was only the doors on the 2nd floor. So Yomoti is doing exactly what I would have done. So hey, I think Shiggy will go down soon enough though. Unless there is some scary secret hit tank. Oh, there's a head-on coming in.
Yep.
That does extend the chase quite a bit, and I think Shiggy can make distance to somewhere, but they're not really taking advantage of that. They just keep circling main building here. This pallet is not incredibly safe, but Yomoti is just deciding to break it. and now Shigi is cooked. Unfortunate. Yeah, the Survivor team was not really putting out any pressure, really. There was just this Nancy player working a generator. That's because they're really gearing for pallet saves. They're really hoping to buy themselves more time using pallet saves, but I don't think this is the move. I think Shigi should have been given up on, and survivors just should have pranked gens or maybe reset themselves, preparing for the 3v1. But right now, this is looking quite sketchy because there is still 3 more tokens of pain res, and 2 more generators to complete, and only 3 survivors to do so. Jukies, what do you think?
I have a lot of things to say, and the first one is that I think that they played main building well, but playing injured while waiting for a pallet save is definitely aggressive. So I think that it feels like they got a little after that lapse in judgment. I don't know what the comms are after that point. It feels like they're just not on the same page with each other. Like, what feels like to an extent that they were doing deliberately taking chase to, you know, a gen that's almost done, trusting that they're going to get the gen done. It just feels like right now they're just kind of in crisis mode, trying to just, you know, get everything done, and nobody's probably calming properly where to take chase here at this point. But now we have ourselves them trying to get back on this gen over here at 2. They do have 3 gens done. They do have a death, and they do have 1 fresh. So it's looking like right now this is trending towards 4K1 territory. Not unheard of for Demogorgon, especially on ping.
Definitely not unheard of, but also Demogorgon is not that strong of a killer. You would kind of expect, like, at least all gens to be completed, if not outs. On the same ping, without the cross ping like advantage for the killer, you usually see like 7 stages or so, and with cross ping, I would expect a 4K, but maybe a 4K0, not really a 4K1. I really do think that their gen efficiency is quite low at the moment. I'm seeing the HUD, and I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's a feature, but the HUD now displays what survivors are doing, even on the killer's point of view, so that's nice. And as you can see, no one is really doing anything. Nancy was resetting Adam there, and this is Ace and Chase here on the bottom side of the map where all gens are popped, I think. What is this? What is the gen split? I think I see a 3 gen on top side of the map, but and there's also a generator on 5 that Ace is trying to die away from.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's interesting is that, you know, this is sort of like where it turns into 4K1, is that you have one person who has to go for the unhook, you have another person on the gen, and because the Demogorgon and the 3v1 of the Demogorgon is so oppressive with portals, that's the one thing is, though, is that, like, Demo being as weak of a killer as they are, they do have some mobility, and especially on CT1, they can easily snowball, especially with the add-on choices that they have here. So it just looks like here that they are gonna have to try and get that. Yeah, it looks like here that the Nancy, who was originally on the highest progress gen, was the one that went for the pull, so they're losing gen progress for this. And Slowdy's already been hooked once. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, Misha. It just feels like there's a lot of things happening all at once. It feels like I can't keep track of what's going on here, and I'm sure the survivors can't either.
Honestly, it does seem like survivors have brought it back a little bit, because there is a lot of progress on the main building, and then there is also some progress here on 5. And the killer is trying to go for tags, trying to split pressure, but the killer knows that they can't really commit to anything, because the moment they do, survivors will go and double something out. So I also think the killer is overestimating the survivors' gen efficiency, but they obviously don't have the access to the info that we can see. So Yomulti is just playing it really safe and really slow, committing to chases that they know will end fast and in a good spot. So 4K1 does seem plausible. I don't think they will get a 4K0 though.
Yeah, I mean 4K2 is even in the works right now, but I don't know if they're doubling a gen right now. They have as much info as we do, so that's going to be all 4 freshes. It's going to be 6 gen here, but then they're healing instead, which is not a terrible idea, but it feels like healing is them trying to go for a 4K0 instead of resigning themselves to a 4K1, which, you know, is a bit of a rough situation to be in. I mean, granted, Shiggy died very early on, after, you know, chases in probably not the greatest spots that they wanted them to be in. So it just feels like right now, yeah, and then they also just gave info right now with the portal, so this is going to be another chase, and let's going to see who it's on. That gen is about 20% progress here. Sayer is going to be right here. Good pull timing here on that hook pull, and the chase happened at 7, and there's nothing here except the window. That pallet is washed here at 8 as well, and Yo Multi just given the M1 tag to play it safe. So yeah, I mean, at this point, they need to rotate over to 3 to get that reset and possibly try and go in double 4. And I think Sayer has to last long enough to make it to this pallet, which he does. Instead, they're trying to get rid of the portal on main, and I don't know if I agree with that, Misha.
I mean, listen, Sayer has quite a setup here. There's this filler leading into this sort of Orman time.
Whoa!
This is not to say this is also very playable for survivors. So I would imagine Sayer can buy a good amount of time here. That was a quick inquiry, I think, on Sayer, and he managed to sneak into the tile back. Miscoms have happened. I think Lodi should have maybe body blocked for Nancy or something, but now they don't get this generator done, and the killer will never, ever leave this generator alone now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing he can really do at this point. It was a bit of a miscom here, and I mean, literally, the comm should have been literally stick the gen. But now you have a 99% gen that literally right here on top of the hook as well. He has zero reason to leave this ever, like you said. But the thing is, if they already have another gen started, they can get another gen done. In fact, you know, if somebody, they're healing. It's just like, man, I don't know if healing is the play right here. And they've already given off the info of where they are as well. Just, you know, it's insane. It's insane.
I mean, listen, so far it really did look like a 4K1. It's just that that miscom happened on the main building, but I honestly don't hate the strategy of keeping yourself fully healthy at all times. I don't hate it. I think they got good use out of these resets. If anything was to justify the lost gen efficiency, I think those resets are a good time investment. But Zlody here is also down on the top side of the map, away from the generator as Sayer is working. But the killer has perfect info on where that is, so they are letting go of their Nancy player. And this must be a 4K2 unless Ace manages to pop this generator just about now, which is not the case.
Yep, that's going to be a 4K2, unfortunately, then. You just really hate to see it. It really feels like they were probably about 2 good comms away from getting 4K0. The big issue was definitely that gen being doubled next to Chase, as Jack so eloquently pointed out. The resets that, you know, to be fair, good time investment, but they're not getting a return on their investment. That really, you know, questionable first chase that happened. And yeah, I mean, that's just going to be a DC here. And I think right now that's going to be a penalty as well. So,
do we give penalties? Are we feeling jolly or are we not feeling jolly?
I don't think they're feeling jolly right now, to be fair. So I think that the jolliness...
We also did not necessarily explain everything to them. So maybe we can go without penalizing them for once.
You know what? I have a beautiful thing called the high tier penalty. How about, you know what? Look at the scorecard, everybody. This is my ability to make someone's day horrible. I could give you -6 stages. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. So I think we'll do is, all right, you know what? I'll say this.
McGorgon, One said that they did not pick. So I think it is A-okay for them to lose this set and just have good morale, hopefully, to go to their tiebreaker. But they still have a killer game to go through. So right now, this is Lodi, the killer player for Team ATAKAE. And Lodi has a very normal, very standard build.
You know, the crazy thing is that, well, first off, is that there is no bamboozle, which we'll find out in just a little bit. I was expecting that to be 4K1 so badly that I had already pre-checked off the gen button. So yeah, it was very interesting as we now see Divine taking the chase over here to the 8 corner area, and Barb's Glass is going to guarantee a hit here. Unless he whiffs. Aha. Well then. There we are. There's the hit. Just a little bit, but that does make a huge difference now because Divine can work up his way across the map. Now, this is where Bamboozle really helps.
Opa.
Exactly. For this reason, because if you aren't able to take that angle correctly, you just lose your chase. And now he has to go all the way back down to the Gen Portal of Shame. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. It does look like they understand what's at stake here with the win con and everything, and that probably looked horrible on multi-screen. But hey, we're here for the horrificness, but they are doubling a gen. They do understand their win con as well. And Multi doing his best impression of Father Jukies here, going to the corner.
Okay, can we not? It's okay. go do the scorecard or something. Yomochi here is dying in the corner. This is basically the only thing you can really do when you get jump scared by a Demogorgon like this. Some time ago, Demogorgon has received a buff to his portals, and his portals are now an actual threat. Like, it is really easy to get jump scared by them. So Divine or Yomulti took a really unfortunate tag there on the bottom side of the map and just decided to book it to top side to maybe die in a better spot for his teammates to get a save, get some more gen progress and stuff like that. But yeah, there's the Demogorgon's portals are way harder to pre-run now. And I honestly don't hate the idea of abandoning chase with Divine to go for your multi. Because that way Zlody was able to displace basically everyone but I think one person. So no one was really working the generators. And that was still a decent time for the first down. So even though no Bamboozle and that misplay on the wall break did hurt Zlody's momentum quite a bit, I think he's still on a really good pace.
Definitely appears to be that way. I think Multi's death spot definitely helps, but we've talked about this before, where that if somebody dies in corner, it means that the team has to be that gen efficient that justifies them basically sacrificing those extra 10 seconds that they might have gotten had they decided to play a bit more aggressively. But, yeah, Divine is going to be able to make distance over here. That gen over here at 7's not going to pop, and even on top of that, it's only about 75%. So there's a lot of hooks coming in here. So maybe that 4K2 is looking a little possible right now.
I mean, that pallet stun there, that Divine won, that was basically 50-50. You can kind of play it maybe on ping, but on when you have cross region ping, you really just need to send it, and Divine happened to win that gamble. So Divine lives to see another day, but the same cannot be said for Boom. Boom is here on the hook again, second stage. A death hook survivor on 5 generators is kind of scary looking, I'm not gonna lie. And 2 more survivors are injured, which means that Zlody has a really good chance to snowball the game now. We were talking about this before during the previous game, but Coal Tower is a really friendly map for Demogorgon. The map is not too big, and all of the loops are playable in one way or the other with Demogorgon's Shred. And portals obviously add to the surprise factor quite a bit, give the killer a bit more mobility as well. But Divine here has a really decent setup. It's just that the pals themselves are not insanely safe, so you can't really play them on ping, especially. Boom does get unhooked in the distance, and this will be another pain res on Divine here. Listen, I think the killer is making good use of their perks. I really do not hate the idea of playing Demogorgon set without Bamboozle, because I think on this like cross-region ping sort of thing, I'm not sure if you really need it, and Zlody is definitely getting a lot of value out of Eruption. What do you think, Jukies?
I think it's definitely possible. Now, the biggest thing is it's obviously who your opponent is, right? So I think it was when we saw it in the World Cup with Angels against, I think it was was it Portugal? It was.
I do not remember.
It was definitely a European team. It was a cross-ping matchup, and both of them had brought it might have been Team Brazil even. I can't even remember off the top of my head. But it was definitely cross-ping matchup to where you could make the argument that Bamboozle wasn't needed. But the problem with it is that with no Bamboozle, Angel had like a really rough, and he got, ran. And I think that at least in lower tier comp, or entry level, better to say, being ran for 5 gens as a killer is not necessarily as frequent, it feels like. But so I feel like it was not the wrong idea to abandon Bamboozle. I just think it's a gamble nonetheless, a gamble that certainly seems to be paying off.
For sure. I can definitely see it this way. And this is already an elimination here on Boom. And the killer is now in a 3v1 with 2 people injured and also 2 extra hook stages on the board. So I think Zloty is looking really comfy, and this might actually be a 4K2, if not 4K3. I do think they can bring it down to 4K2, but this might be a set tied.
Yeah, and if it gets a set tie, that means they go to tiebreaker anyways. But, oh, that gen has a lot of progress, and so does that other one. And this is going to be, multi here in the tile. The exact person that you want to get!
Oh,
boy.
This style is so difficult to play, even with good connection. But right now, it is basically a death sentence to be stuck here against any sort of killer, but especially Demogorgon, who can really just shut down the loop entirely, as it's made mostly of straight lines. Yomulti here is hooked basically on the generator that he was working on, and Divine is in chase now. This is the other injured survivor that I was talking about, and while Divine's pain rest has already been used, I think, oh no, and the killer spots the rotation for the pull.
And then tries to break the pallet, gets that instead, and then it's probably going to hook them right on top of this gen as well. Yeah, this is looking like it's 4K3. If I don't think that Fade was able to stop that gen from regressing in time, but they hop right back on a gen. It looks like that 4 gen over there. But then he's gonna go tunnel out Multi. So like it's such a dicey here. Like the best thing for Slotty to do is to find Fade and get them out of this game. Or excuse me, make them not work on gens. Which instead they go for the pull, so that makes it all null and void. And that's Multi dying here at 3 gens. Oh boy.
I mean, honestly, I think if I was Fade, I would just work some sort of generator and try to get it to completion. Maybe even not saving Divine. But now Divine is saved, and the killer has a pretty good idea of where to check for Fade. Yep, we see Fade getting off of this main building generator. And killer applies Eruption here. Eruption has been really valuable so far. I think, I really do think that without Eruption, this 4K3 or 4K2 maybe result was not possible. I think Bamboozle would not give you enough value to justify it.
Well, the interesting thing is that I think that
So good. Oh, so good. I'm so happy with what I'm seeing right now.
I'm upset. I am so upset right now. Like the entity, man. This match was decided almost entirely by literal fractions of a second. And yeah, that's gonna be a 4K3. Man, I'm upset, Misha.
I know, but it's still fun.
Well then, yeah, let me go update my scorecard. I'm
having fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, we're just going to have to see if they want to try and do tiebreaker, because we are so ahead of schedule. So let's go ahead and see, but I would not hold my breath, because, yep, they got body blocked out the door. Unfortunate. So let's see if...
Are we ahead of schedule, though? The next matchup is in half an hour. And the tiebreaker for this matchup is Plague.
Oh, well, it felt like the time has flown. So it looks like right now that it's going to be us taking a 30-minute break until the next one. So yeah, you're right. We are actually, unfortunately, not going to be able to do tiebreaker. Thank you for, being so amazing with the casting with me right now. We're going to take a break. I'm going to go eat a burger or something, or find myself something to cry over. Very well played, everybody. ATAKAE played very well. I'm looking forward to seeing them play more. Granted, I think now that they understand how the league works, it's going to be very possible to see more of them. So, do you have any parting words until we take our break, Misha?
No, not really. I'm gonna go have some food too. So, bon appetit, I guess.
Alrighty then. Well, we'll see you guys in a while. Probably about another 20 minutes. So we're just gonna leave the stream running. So we'll be back in about 20 to 30 minutes or so. So we'll be back. Thank you guys for sticking with us.